What if everything you thought you knew about Shedeur Sanders was only half the story? Because behind the highlights, the confidence, and the spotlight in Cleveland, something else has been building quietly. No headlines, no drama, just a shift that could change everything, and most fans didn't even notice it happening. And what he revealed next might completely change how you see his entire journey. Something about Shedeur Sanders feels different right now. And no, it's not something you'll catch in highlight reels or viral clips. It's not loud, it's not flashy. In fact, that's exactly why most people are missing it. Because while everyone's been waiting for the next big moment, the next statement game, or the next headline, Shedeur has been doing something far more dangerous. He's been changing quietly. No cameras, no constant social media updates, no daily workout clips flooding timelines, and in today's NFL culture that alone raises eyebrows. Fans are used to seeing everything. The grind, the progress, the hype, but when all of that suddenly disappears, that's when the questions start. Some fans believe this silence means nothing, that it's just another offseason phase, but others aren't so sure. Because when a player who's always been in the spotlight suddenly moves in the shadows, it usually means something deeper is happening. And if you listen closely to what Shedeur has actually been saying, it starts to connect. He's not talking about proving people wrong. He's not feeding into media narratives. Instead, he's focused on something far more controlled: his mindset, his discipline, and how he's choosing to move differently this time around. That's a shift. Because earlier in his career, the conversation around him was always loud. Confidence, swagger, attention, whether you loved it or questioned it, you noticed it. Everyone did. But now it feels calculated. He's talking about being intentional with his time, about understanding how quickly things can be taken out of context, about how easily the narrative around a player can flip overnight. And that awareness, that's not something every young quarterback develops this early. It's learned. And usually, it comes from experience, from moments where things didn't go exactly as planned, from realizing that talent alone doesn't control the story, perception does too. That's where this gets interesting. Because while fans are still debating his potential, his ceiling, or his place in the league, Shedeur seems to be playing a completely different game now. One that isn't about noise, but about control. Control of his image, control of his preparation, control of how he shows up when it actually matters. And here's the part most people aren't ready for. When a player stops trying to prove something to everyone else and starts focusing only on execution, that's when things tend to shift fast. But that's not the full picture. When most fans tune in, they only see the headlines. They see the clips that get shared. But that's exactly where the story starts to bend. For Shedeur Sanders, the headlines have always been a double-edged sword. Every highlight catch, every viral moment, every flashy throw brings attention, but also scrutiny. Analysts dissect every move, pundits speculate on every word, and social media, don't even get started. One tweet can spark an entire narrative that might not even be true. Some fans believe that's just the cost of being a high-profile quarterback, but reports suggest Shedeur has been thinking differently this offseason. He's no longer chasing clicks or validation. Instead, he's learning the quiet, almost invisible power of narrative control. Every action is calculated. Every public moment is intentional. Even the times when he disappears from social media or stays off camera during workouts, it isn't laziness, it's strategy. Analysts have been divided. A few argue this quiet approach could make him fade from the spotlight, possibly even harm his draft stock. Others claim it's exactly what elite quarterbacks do: manage perception, stay focused, and let the results speak louder than noise. And that's the twist many fans miss. Shedeur isn't just training his body, he's training the story around him. He knows how quickly rumors can escalate, how easily a playful comment can be twisted, and how one viral clip can overshadow months of preparation. Locker room insiders quietly say this maturity is unusual for a player his age. Some suggest he's already thinking like a veteran. He's setting boundaries with media interactions, choosing when and how to reveal himself. That discipline doesn't just impact public perception, it influences how teammates, coaches, and even opponents see him. Respect, after all, is often shaped by more than just stats. And here's the most interesting part. While others are busy creating drama, Shedeur is deliberately stepping back. He's letting the media chase speculation while he focuses on the fundamentals, his mechanics, his roots, his decision-making under pressure. It's subtle, almost invisible, but that's the point. Mastery often happens in silence. And what happens next might catch everyone off guard. Behind every highlight, every touchdown, every viral clip, there's pressure that most fans will never see. For Shedeur Sanders, it's not just about winning games, it's about proving himself at every level from high school to college and now stepping onto the NFL stage. The spotlight is relentless and the expectations are massive. Everyone expects him to be perfect, to make the right decisions instantly, and to carry not just a team, but an entire legacy. Some fans believe the hype is his biggest advantage, but insiders suggest it's also a heavy weight. Every throw is scrutinized, every missed target gets dissected. In social media, that's a battlefield. Critics are waiting for a single misstep, analysts are ready with hot takes, and teammates are watching, weighing whether he can handle the spotlight without it affecting performance. Reports claim that the pressure isn't only external, it comes from within the family too. Being the son of Deion Sanders adds a layer of expectation few can imagine. The comparisons are inevitable, the story's endless. Every moment on the field is measured against a legacy already etched in NFL history. And some insiders quietly say this is where Shedeur's maturity becomes the difference. He's learning to filter the noise, to focus on his process, not the commentary. Analysts debate whether this pressure will push him to greatness or hold him back. Some argue that the constant scrutiny can create cracks in even the most confident players. Others point out that this is the kind of fire that shapes legends. Shedeur seems to understand both sides. He's practicing, conditioning, and studying film like any top-tier quarterback, but he's also learning how to manage perception, interactions, and expectations off the field. And here's the most dramatic twist. While everyone assumes the pressure is visible, most of it happens quietly in moments nobody records. It's in the early mornings, the late nights, the private sessions where no camera is rolling. And it's in those moments where Shedeur is being forged, where he's proving whether he can carry the weight of a name, a family, and a franchise without breaking. That's when the conversation quietly shifted, and suddenly the eyes of the league aren't just on him, they're on what he's about to become. On paper, it might seem simple. Shedeur Sanders is in Cleveland, training hard, preparing for the next NFL season. But insiders suggest the situation is far more layered than fans realize. There's the team dynamics, the coaching decisions, the veteran presence, and the media pressure, all intersecting in ways that could make or break his debut. And nobody outside the locker room fully understands it yet. Some fans believe the path is clear. Impress in practice, earn the starting role, and the rest will follow. But reports claim it's not that straightforward. Cleveland's depth chart is crowded, and veteran players hold authority both on and off the field. Rumors suggest that some locker room tension has quietly emerged, with veterans watching every move, analyzing whether Shedeur can handle the grind without letting hype cloud judgment. Analysts debate how the coaching staff will manage this rookie versus veteran dynamic. Some insiders say that coaches are quietly strategizing, trying to balance giving Shedeur a fair shot while maintaining locker room harmony. It's not just about talent, it's about temperament, timing, and the subtle politics of earning trust. Even minor mistakes could ripple into bigger consequences if not handled carefully. The media angle complicates things further. Social media already amplifies every practice snap, every comment, every glance. And while Shedeur has learned how to navigate public perception, Cleveland's spotlight is different from college or even previous off-season coverage. Reports claim that every interaction, every handshake, even casual visits around town are being noticed and scrutinized. Some fans don't realize that for him, Cleveland isn't just a place, it's a testing ground for managing legacy, reputation, and relationships simultaneously. And then there's the question of opportunity. Shedeur Sanders, his brother, has reportedly been angling for a spot on the roster. Some insiders believe this could create subtle tension, not openly confrontational, but the kind of rivalry that fuels media speculation. Analysts are divided. Could this sibling proximity inspire greater performance, or will it introduce distractions that derail focus? But what happens next could redefine the narrative entirely. Cleveland is not just a backdrop, it's a pressure cooker where talent meets expectation and reputation meets reality. Every practice, every meeting, and every throw becomes a statement. And while the public sees only glimpses, the real story unfolds behind the scenes in locker rooms, film sessions, and quiet talks with coaches. That's when fans start to realize that Cleveland isn't just about games, it's about proving whether Shedeur can balance ambition, scrutiny, and legacy under a microscope. And what happens next in this city could set the tone for the entire NFL season. It wasn't just what happened on the field that caught attention. Off-field moments have sparked as much discussion, if not more. Fans and analysts alike noticed subtle behaviors, small interactions, and seemingly casual exchanges that hinted at a deeper story. From social media snapshots to candid interviews, every move was dissected. And while some brushed it off as ordinary life, insiders suggest there's more under the surface than meets the eye. Some fans believe that Shedeur Sanders' ability to stay under the radar shows discipline. Yet reports claim his off-field decisions, like where he spends his time, who he associates with, and even the timing of his workouts are being scrutinized by the organization. Every detail becomes a signal. Rumors suggest that these subtle cues could influence whether coaches trust him with the field, or whether he remains in the background, waiting for the right moment. Locker room dynamics also play a role. Sources indicate that veteran players are watching closely. They notice every gesture, how he interacts with teammates, how he responds to guidance, and even small social interactions. Analysts debate whether this silent evaluation is standard or if it hints at a deeper tension. Some fans don't realize that off-field performance is almost as important as on-field talent in determining a player's trajectory. A single misstep can spark rumors, while a single act of leadership can instantly elevate status. The media angle has only intensified matters. Social media amplifies small moments, often turning them into viral controversies. A casual comment, a humorous exchange, or even a post about Cleveland life gets picked apart. Reports suggest that Shedeur is aware of this, consciously managing his image while preparing for peak performance. But that awareness itself can be a double-edged sword. Observers question, is he authentic, or is every move carefully calculated? And in a league where perception sometimes equals reality, this becomes a high-stakes balancing act. Even interactions with family and close associates have drawn attention. Shedeur Sanders' presence in Cleveland, combined with his own pursuit of a roster spot, adds a layer of speculation. Analysts wonder if this proximity helps sharpen Shedeur's focus or if it risks creating subtle distractions. Fans debate endlessly, with some praising the family bond and others questioning whether sibling competition complicates team dynamics. And then there's the public perception. Cleveland itself has become a character in this story. Every airport arrival, every fan encounter, every casual outing gets reported, sometimes exaggerated, sometimes misunderstood. Sources say that the local attention adds pressure that most rookies never experience. Every handshake, every smile, and every casual comment is potentially a headline, and insiders believe that how Shedeur navigates these moments could define his reputation for years to come. All of this paints a picture of a player whose story isn't just defined by stats or highlights, but by the nuances of life off the field. From personal choices to public perception, every detail is a potential turning point. And as the season approaches, what happens off the field may matter just as much as what happens on it, sometimes even more. As the 2026 NFL season looms, one question dominates every discussion. Will Shedeur Sanders live up to the hype? From college standout to Cleveland rookie, the buzz has been relentless. Analysts, fans, and even casual observers are weighing in, and the debate is only getting louder. Some insist he's a generational talent destined to take the league by storm. Others caution that hype doesn't always translate into NFL production, and the gap between expectation and reality can be brutal. Reports claim that Shedeur's preparation has been next level. Sources say he's putting in long hours in the weight room, refining routes, and studying film like a veteran. Yet some skeptics point out that physical preparation alone isn't enough. The NFL isn't college football. The defenses are faster, schemes are more complex, and mistakes are magnified under the spotlight. Every throw, every decision, every snap is under scrutiny, and any misstep can spiral into a media frenzy. Fan chatter online reflects this tension perfectly. Some believe the hype is justified, citing his high school dominance, his work ethic, and the guidance of primetime day-in Sanders as indicators that Shedeur is ready for the next level. Others argue that rookie QB controversies have derailed careers before, and that the intense Cleveland spotlight might be too much for a first-year player, even one with his pedigree. Rumors suggest that insiders are quietly monitoring how he reacts under pressure, and that perception could be as critical as actual performance. Then there's the analyst angle. Every network seems to have a differing opinion. Some pundits have praised his accuracy and poise, saying he's NFL-ready, while others question his durability and ability to handle the mental grind of a full season. Reports claim these debates influence not just fan expectations, but coaching decisions too. If management buys into the hype too early, they risk setting him up for failure. Conversely, if they undervalue his potential, they could miss out on a transformational talent. The stakes are high, and every voice adds another layer of pressure. Even locker room dynamics feed into the hype versus reality narrative. Veteran players are watching closely, and some sources suggest that their perception could determine how much freedom Shedeur gets early on. Will they defer to him as a rising star, or will they challenge him relentlessly? Rumors suggest that every handshake, every interaction in practice, every meeting with coaches could subtly influence his trajectory. And as fans dissect every move on social media, the line between actual performance and perceived hype blurs further. Finally, the pressure extends beyond the field. Cleveland is known for passionate fans who analyze every play, and the media doesn't hesitate to amplify both successes and missteps. Some insiders suggest that this environment could accelerate his growth, forcing him to adapt faster than most rookies. Others caution that it could magnify mistakes, turning minor errors into headline controversies. Ultimately, the hype versus reality debate isn't just about stats or talent. It's about perception, mental toughness, and the ability to thrive under constant scrutiny. As the season approaches, every analyst report, fan opinion, and insider rumor adds fuel to this debate. Will Shedeur Sanders fulfill the promise that so many believe he carries, or will the NFL prove a harsher proving ground than anyone anticipated? One thing is clear. The conversation isn't slowing down, and every single performance will be watched, analyzed, and debated from day one. As the 2026 NFL season inches closer, one uncomfortable truth hangs over Shedeur Sanders like a shadow. Everyone talks about his talent, his preparation, his hype, but very few are willing to openly discuss the real risk. Can he actually handle the pressure that comes with being the next big thing in Cleveland? It's a question that sparks debates in locker rooms, on podcasts, and across social media, but the answer isn't simple. Shedeur has been praised for his work ethic, reportedly grinding every day in the gym, in film rooms, and on the field. Reports claim that he's already putting in veteran-level prep, refining his mechanics, perfecting his timing, and learning complex offensive schemes. But even with that dedication, the NFL is unforgiving. Every rookie, no matter how talented, faces a steep learning curve, and the margin for error is razor-thin. One poor decision, one misread, and the media narrative can flip instantly. Social media is another battlefield. Fans dissect every throw, every snap, and every interaction. Some praise his calm demeanor and preparation, while others highlight moments of inexperience and caution that the hype machine may be running ahead of reality. Rumors suggest that every minor mistake in practice or preseason will be amplified into headlines, potentially eroding confidence before the regular season even starts. In a league obsessed with narrative, perception can be as influential as performance. Then there's the weight of legacy. Being the son of Deion Sanders is both a blessing and a curse. On one hand, he has unparalleled guidance, insights from one of the greatest to ever play, and access to networks most rookies can only dream of. On the other, every play he makes is compared to a Hall of Famer. Analysts and fans alike measure him not just as a player, but as the next Sanders, creating expectations that few athletes could realistically meet. Reports claim some insiders in the organization are acutely aware of this, carefully balancing how much freedom to give him versus how much to shield him from the spotlight. Locker room dynamics add another layer of risk. Veteran players will be watching closely, testing his leadership, observing how he handles mistakes, and evaluating whether he can command respect without arrogance. Sources suggest that early conflicts or missteps in these interactions could influence how often he touches the field or the roles he's given. Every handshake, every sideline exchange, every team meeting carries weight, and rookie mistakes off the field can cascade into consequences on the field. Even Cleveland itself is a high-stakes environment. The fan base is passionate, demanding, and unforgiving. Analysts note that the city's spotlight can accelerate growth, pushing young players to rise faster than they would elsewhere. But that same intensity can magnify errors, turning small slip-ups into viral controversies. Reports claim that coaches have been trying to manage both his development and public perception, walking a tightrope that few rookies have faced so early in their careers. Ultimately, the real risk nobody wants to admit is mental and emotional endurance. Physical talent, preparation, and genetics can only take a player so far. The true test is navigating the immense pressure, scrutiny, and expectations while remaining confident, sharp, and consistent. Shedeur Sanders is armed with talent, guidance, and a strong work ethic, but can that translate to consistent production in a crucible where one misstep can define a career? As fans and analysts debate, one thing is undeniable: every preseason snap. Every practice highlight and every sideline reaction will be scrutinized. The season will reveal not just his skills, but his resilience, adaptability, and capacity to thrive under relentless pressure. And that is the risk Cleveland, the NFL, and even Shedeur himself cannot afford to ignore. As the dust begins to settle on another intense NFL offseason, it's tempting to focus solely on Shedeur Sanders. The talent, the hype, the social media buzz, they all point to one narrative: the rise of a single star. But the truth, as anyone paying attention can tell you, is far more complex. The story here isn't just about Shedeur, it's about the entire ecosystem around him, the league, the team, and the culture he's stepping into. It's a web of pressure, expectation, and scrutiny that extends far beyond any individual player's stats. Cleveland itself has become a crucible for young talent. Analysts and insiders note that the Browns' fan base doesn't just want wins, they demand a spectacle, a narrative, a personality to latch onto. Every rookie stepping onto the field is instantly weighed against not just performance metrics, but the intangible expectations of leadership, charisma, and resilience. Reports claim that coaches, veterans, and media alike are watching closely, measuring how Shedeur handles everything from high-pressure snaps to subtle locker room dynamics. This is where the spotlight shines brightest and where one misstep could ripple far beyond a single game. Then there's the legacy factor. Being the son of Shedeur Sanders is both a massive advantage and a unique challenge. Guidance, access, and insight from one of the NFL's all-time greats are invaluable, but so is the pressure of comparison. Analysts have debated endlessly whether Shedeur can carve out his own identity while living in the shadow of a Hall of Famer. Some fans believe he will thrive, fueled by the example set before him. Others speculate that the constant juxtaposition could become a weight, magnifying every error and turning small setbacks into viral talking points. Cleveland's bright lights don't just illuminate talent, they magnify flaws. The dynamics within the team itself add yet another layer. Veteran players, rookies, and coaching staff are all part of a delicate ecosystem. Rumors suggest that early interactions, training camp chemistry, and leadership choices will influence playing time, offensive schemes, and even the perception of Shedeur's role on the team. Every sideline conversation, every practice rep, every off-field decision contributes to a narrative far larger than any single highlight reel. The Browns' front office reportedly recognizes this, balancing development, performance, and public perception with precision that few outsiders fully understand. Even the media environment has shifted dramatically. Social media, 24/7 coverage, and instant fan reactions make it impossible for any player to navigate quietly. Analysts dissect every throw, commentator, and sideline gesture, while TikTok clips and Twitter threads spread perception like wildfire. Reports claim that Cleveland's media ecosystem is as intense as the stadium atmosphere itself, and every preseason snap is instantly magnified into a story that could shape public opinion for weeks. The lesson is clear. In the modern NFL, resilience off the field can be just as important as skill on it. Ultimately, Shedeur Sanders' journey reflects something bigger than football. It's about navigating pressure, expectations, and legacy in an environment where every moment is scrutinized, every narrative matters, and every player contributes to a larger story. The Browns, the NFL, and even fans themselves are participants in a drama that extends beyond touchdowns and interceptions. This isn't just about one season or one breakout performance. It's about culture, preparation, and how a player becomes a symbol for a city, a team, and a generation. As Cleveland prepares for the season ahead, one thing is undeniable. Watching Shedeur Sanders is only part of the story. The bigger picture is the convergence of talent, legacy, pressure, and opportunity, all colliding in one of the league's most demanding environments. The 2026 season promises to reveal not just whether he can perform, but whether he can thrive in a spotlight that won't let anyone hide. And that perhaps is the most compelling story of all.